In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start down in the treetops, and we're going to drive along the ridge all the way down along the face, maintaining constant altitude over the crest, but not maintaining a constant altitude with respect to the altimeter. And we're going to see what happens when you go and you drive yourself into the downhill trap. So we're going to go and speed up, and well, we just found a thermal right out of the get-go. But then watch that altimeter. See, that ridge crest is starting to diminish, and we're screaming right along. I mean, this looks fantastic. It looks like we're going really fast. But look at that variometer. It's not positive. And we're just doing a little, just a hair below zero. Look at that altimeter. See how it's unwinding. My airspeed's very high. I'm going about 80 miles an hour. It looks to me like I'm doing fantastically. But, in fact, I've just lost about 250 feet, even though my height in relation to the mountain has hardly changed at all. And so if we keep driving along, let's see how this is going to look like. And notice, that today, the wind is not all that strong. I intentionally dialed it back a little bit, and now we're starting to settle down. Now the ridge is getting a bit lower, so the wind is weakening a little bit, because as you get a bit lower, the winds will often diminish, so, and the ridge shape is not fantastic out here. So, we're not quite sustaining, but even now we're losing a little bit of altitude, and even now we're still sinking at about a half knot to 1 knot, right? And so we're driving along, and and right about here we're saying, man, this ridge is not working all that great. And, we're down to 1,200 feet, and now we make our turn. Now let's see what this is going to look like. Whoa, right? And there you have it, right? So all of a sudden, the mountain looks very different going in the other direction. We've lost 400 feet driving along the mountain, and it looked pretty good. We looked like we were going pretty fast. But we were not maintaining altitude, and then during the whole time, the variometer was down. And so let's see what happens if we try to work back along this weak ridge. So now I'm slowing down to 45 knots, about as slow as I can go, and in an instant, in a heartbeat, I am now, even too low for what a beginner ought to be in. I mean, at this point, you would be really seriously thinking about going into that golf course. And, and this is really a situation you don't want to find yourself in if you have very little time. People who are more experienced, every once in a while they'll come around the corner at the Delaware Water Gap, and they hit some sink along the way, and then they might find this kind of situation trying to work their way back up the ridge. But that is kind of more of an expert maneuver. But this trap where you drive down along that crest and think you're doing all that, you think you're doing great, but then as your altimeter unwinds, this puts you, very quickly in a really dicey situation. Now, as a beginner, you would think really hard, well, you would probably be going for the golf course. A more experienced pilot might just try to limp along and hang on and work their way back up the crest. But even now, this is not working all that well. And we're just maintaining, zero, and we're at 1,250 feet, and just barely climbing with that mountain. So, rather than necessarily show the whole sequence here, I mean, you would be in really big trouble. I mean, you might be landing out. We discussed that in a previous video with regards to how to fall off the ridge. The broader illustration here is to recognize how easy and how quickly your situation can change if you are not paying attention to the mountain and your energy. If you go and recognize the changing shape and basically manage your energy, works great, just like in the previous video. But if you just simply drive along without really thinking, then you can be bitten by this trap very, very easily.